obviously invited, so call me back. Okay, love you. Bye.
What's up, you guys, and welcome back to Emotionally Online, the show for spilling guts and sharing secrets, hosted by yours truly, the one and only Maddie Drossbeck, who is fresh off of her break, back sitting on this couch, ready to get into it with you guys. Hi, I've missed you so much. I can't believe it's been a month since we've sat here and done this. I do believe that my end of year breaks are a necessary part of doing this job, but I missed you nonetheless, and I'm so happy to be back here and to get back into all of it with you, because Love Island started this past week. Not to like fast forward to the end of this episode at the beginning, but I'm just so excited. I'm just so excited that Love Island is back and we're fucking doing it again, and we have that to talk about, on top of the fact that I just feel like I've been bursting at the seams with everything else that I want to talk to you guys about. Every little thought inside my brain, the submission box has been overflowing in my absence, and we just have like so much to get into. It hurts. It really does. There's so much to talk about these days. So you haven't seen me for a month. I've been gone off the internet for the most part, not posting. I was lurking, I was looking, and I was definitely doing a lot of behind the scenes work. I was doing a lot of traveling. I did get sick. And so it wasn't, you haven't seen me in some time. Not all of the time that I've been gone was I resting. In fact, I don't know that I feel that I got a lot of rest in it all. Like, when you go on vacation and then you feel like you need a vacation from the vacation. There was no time to sit in my home and do nothing. And that's really the only thing that feels like resting to me, is sitting in my house doing nothing. So I've still got to find time to work some of that in. Maybe this is a sign I do need to cancel some of my plans, which also feels painful to me. I am like, I don't know what's up with me these days, really. I think I'm becoming more and more type A the older that I get. And I talk to my therapist about this every week, because I'm like, I'm actually stressed out all the time. My anxiety is getting worse. I'm getting more type A. I'm so stressed out all the time, just feeling like I need to be on top of everything. I made a spreadsheet of all of my relationships, everyone in my life that I know, even a minor amount. I made a spreadsheet of how often we talk, how often I would like to talk, and what my action item is based on how those two things align. And so I have a spreadsheet now with a list full of people, with reminders to text them or FaceTime them or plan a hangout with them, or do nothing if I feel like we're in good standing, which helped me sort it out inside my brain. But now I feel like I'm like, oh my God, I need to text this person, FaceTime this person, make this hangout. And it's like, other people can do that too, Maddie. Other people can do that for you. But it almost doesn't matter to me, because in my head, I'm like, I just want to make sure that I'm showing up the way that I want to. It's not about like needing that from other people. It's about wanting to show up in friendships and my connections with people the way that feels like the most authentic to me. And I would like to be more present, planning more hangouts, doing more community things, because I just feel like I'm drawn to that in this era of my life. But also, I really need alone time. I really need it. I love the besties. I love planning hangouts with the besties. I love making sure all of my people feel loved and listened to and supported. Okay, huge. Also, love my alone time. I've been slacking on that quite a bit lately. Alone time to do nothing. Emphasis on the nothing part. I'm not kidding. I would like to sit and stare at a wall, mama. I want to do nothing. Okay? I want to read more books. I was so into reading books, and then I went a whole year without reading at all. What got into me? I don't know. I didn't read a single book last year. I was in a book club towards the beginning of the year, so I read The Artist's Way, but that's like a workbook. It's barely even like a book, So I didn't read anything. I did start, now listen, I'm trying. I'm doing my best to get back into all the things that I care about and balance my life a little better and, just level up this year. Doing my best. Started an accountability group because it helps. And one of my goals for this month is to read one book Very achievable goal. I am about 3/4 of the way through as we speak. I was reading Daisy Jones and the Six, and I really like it. So I'm pleasantly surprised about this. I was a little worried that I wasn't going to be able to find a book that would reignite my excitement about reading, but I really do. I'm enjoying it. I know that everyone raves about this book. My sister bought it for me for Christmas, and she left a little note on the inside because she loves the book and it's her favorite. And I think that's so sweet and so cute. And I think that everybody should leave little notes on the inside cover of the books that they gift other people. So cute. So anyways, I'm reading again, trying to work on balance. I am, happy and living life and trying my best. And what more can you do? So over my break, let's recap. When I was not here, what was I doing? I went to LA for a little bit, for literally like 3 days. I went to LA for the H3 live show, which was so much fun. I did cry my little eyes out. Yes, I did cry at the Steamies, everybody. Yes, I was in the audience wiping tears off of my face at the Steamies. I did go to the H3 live show. It was so fun. It was so cool to be sitting there in the room with them right in front of me. I've mentioned it on the podcast a few times, but I'm a big H3 fan. And I've been listening to the podcast since it started. I don't miss an episode. So it was so much fun to be in the audience and just get to see it all happen live. These people that have brought like so much joy and humor to my life, just lightening up my week. So fun. Loved it. And my siblings are there, so I took them with me. 3 of us went to the show together, and that was fun getting to introduce them to H3. Was also like, it's hard to introduce anybody to H3 because there's so much lore, and it's almost like I feel exhausted even trying to explain all of this to you because it's just like years and years and years, and they have no idea what any of it is. But I'm like, you'll still have fun. Like, it's like, the Steamies, the award show for the internet's worst. So if you know at least a little bit of internet drama, I think you'd be entertained even if you don't know H3. But also a lot of the show is like H3 lore and inside jokes that are just not funny unless you know. So it was still great though, and they had a good time. And when I was walking out of the show, somebody stopped me, and we laughed about this for like an hour afterwards. Somebody stopped me and was like, "Are you Madison?" And my siblings were like, "Madison?" They're like, "Who's calling her Madison?" And one of you guys stopped me and said you listen to the podcast and you really like it. Super sweet. Very sweet interaction. I love when you guys stop me. It was so funny that you called me Madison, though, if you're listening to this. In my head, I was like, wow, I can't believe that you know that my name is Madison. Like, I guess I've said it before, but nobody calls me Madison. So it was so funny when, like, my siblings were like, who is Madison? Like, my family doesn't call me Madison. Nobody calls me Madison. And I don't even have anything against it, right? I like the name Madison. I just have never been called it. My whole life I was Maddie. So I've never even considered that somebody out there would look at me and then like register my name to be like, oh, are you? And say Madison. It's so funny. I love it. I love that to some people I am Madison. That's cute. You might be like one of 2 people who refers to me as a Madison, and the other person is probably like my great aunt that I see once, maybe 0.5 times a year. Like, I just thought it was so sweet. And then I came back from LA and I picked up Mango, and then I went up, visited my family for a week and a half up in Maine, and then I came back to New York to get a new tattoo. I got a huge My Crying During Sex thigh piece. It is balloons that say forever. So happy about it. It was my most painful tattoo ever by a fucking mile. And I need you to remember, I am someone that has long said that I don't think the tattoos are very painful, and that I even enjoy the feeling of a tattoo. I have dozed off to sleep during tattoos before. So tattoos are nothing to me most of the time. The only tattoo that has been painful up until this point was my other thigh tattoo. My one that says romance. And it wasn't the outside of my thigh, it was the inside of my thigh. So I just took that to be like, oh, it's like the skin is more sensitive. It's probably thinner there. So it makes sense that it would be more painful. This tattoo is like not really on the inside of my thigh at all. It's more on the outside than this one is. And it's just bigger. It took 3.5 hours, and the first hour was fine. And then the next 2.5 hours, I was losing my mind. I was ready to start banging on the walls and, gnawing off my knuckles. It was so fucking painful. And the thing was, like towards the beginning half of my tattoo appointment, my tattoo artist was like, "You're sitting so well. I wish everyone sat the way that you're sitting," which is like sweet. I love that I sit well for tattoos. I sit pretty still because it usually doesn't bother me. So I'm pretty good about being like an easy client for a tattoo. But when somebody compliments you like that, then you're like, oh, well, now I have something to live up to. So an hour in, when the shit starts fucking hurting, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to distract myself. I need to think about something. I'm playing tic-tac-toe in my head. I'm like just thinking about anything besides the fact that this shit hurts like fuck. And then I'm also like, I've got a reputation here. I sit so well. I can't all of a sudden start sitting poorly. Oh my God. But sometimes it's like involuntary. Like they'll be like, I don't know, like hit a patch during tattooing, and I'll just like, your body will like twitch. I was doing that a little bit. But that's like completely involuntary. But the 2.5 hours towards the end of the tattoo, I was like, let me just look at my phone and be distracted. I don't know why that this works on me, but anytime I'm in any kind of discomfort or pain, I'm like, just go and numb your brain on your phone. I'm not saying it's a good solution. I'm just saying it works. Whenever I get a tummy ache in the middle of the night, which happens a lot for me, tummy ache girls rise. I get up and I go to the bathroom and I get a Tum or two, a peppermint flavored Tum, and I put one in my mouth in the bathroom and I chew it. And then I walk to the bed, and then I put the other one in my bed as I'm in my mouth as I'm laying my head down, and I chew it because I don't know why. I need to like taste the peppermint in my mouth in that whole journey back until my head hits the pillow, or else I feel like it's not going to work. There's something to be diagnosed there. I'm aware. But in my head, once I lay down and I'm eating the Tum, I'm like, the only way it's going to work is if I distract my brain from the fact that there's like a process working. I actually don't even know if it's doing anything. This could all be in my head, but I need to pick up my phone and scroll and like distract my brain. So if I have a tummy ache in the middle of the night, I have to like pick up my phone until the tummy ache goes away, and then I'm good and I can fall back asleep. I can fall back asleep in 60 seconds. It's not a big deal. So anyways, during this tattoo, I was like, I've got to be on my phone, distracting myself, thinking of other things, just, I don't know, trying to take my mind off the fact that this is the most painful thing that's ever happened. It was working for a little bit, and then my phone died. And maybe it was probably like the last hour 15, I'll call it, where it was just silence. And it was me in my brain fighting with myself, figuring out how I was going to get through this. And it hurts so bad. And I'm being so serious about it. I'm not exaggerating. And I feel like you can trust me on that because I'm someone that says that tattoos are not really that bad. I'm not kidding. I wanted to rip my own skin off. And then it was also during the healing process, the itchiest fucking tattoo I've ever had. It looks beautiful, but God, it was a process. So I came back to New York. Got the tattoo, celebrated New Year's with my friends. I went and visited my best friend Ashley in Boston, and my friend Sebastian did a show in Boston while I was visiting. So saw Sebastian's show. Madonna was touring, and my mom got tickets to see Madonna, so then I went to go see Madonna with my mom. And then I came back here for like 5 days, and then I went on vacation with my mother, which was great. We've never gone on a trip, just the two of us. It was just so much fun. I feel like I've had so much good quality time with my people. Now I'm in desperate need of good quality time with me. Some alone time to sit and stare at a wall and talk to myself and read a book, talk to Mango, not think about anybody perceiving me ever again in my life. I need time to not exist anymore. I said this to my friends over break at some point, but I was like, I would love to like be wiped off the face of the earth for like a long weekend. Just give me like 4 days to not exist at all to anyone. I don't want anyone to even think about me. Like, I just want to, you know, that episode of SpongeBob where Squidward's just in a white, endlessly white room, and it's like, alone, alone, alone. Now I can finally be all alone. That's how I want. This is my dream vacation destination, is that fucking white room, all alone. I don't want a single person to know who I am or remember me at all for like 3 days. Not a permanent thing, right? Because to be known and seen and loved and connected to people is like the spice of life. However, I would also love silence for like 3 days. Complete and utter silence with no worries inside my brain about how I'm being perceived or if someone's mad at me or if I'm doing everything right all the time always, which obviously I'm fucking not. But also I'm just done. I'm done being perceived. I really am, which is, I understand, the most hilarious thing to say as someone who is perceived for a living. But it's where I'm at right now. Okay, one of the biggest things that I wanted to chime in on during my time not on the internet was I know that I've like said enough, and I'm going to say the topic and you're going to be like, oh my God, Maddie, move on. And to that I say, shut the fuck up. This is my show, bitch. Strap in, because we're talking about Saltburn again, you motherfuckers. Do you really think that I wouldn't come in and say something else? Because it came out on Amazon Prime Video on like, I don't know, the 24th, 25th, around Christmas. Somewhere around that time, came out on Amazon Prime Video. So I was like, everyone hasn't seen it, go see it and enjoy yourself. Have a fun, horny, sexy time, okay? Have fun. How did I know everyone on the internet would just like
dig their little grubby hands in and try to ruin my favorite movie?
It's not my favorite movie. It's top 3 for me though, for sure. Saltburn is, okay, order. Here's the official order. Number 1, Silence of the Lambs. Number 2, Gone Girl. Number 3, Saltburn. Number 4, and it just got moved up because it was Memento, but I've decided that I do like this more than Memento. This can change at any point though, okay? But in my 4th spot is When Harry Met Sally. I only watched it for the first time in September, but it's sitting with me and it's hitting, and as time goes on, I do really just feel that I love it and that it's a perfect movie. So anyways, those are my top 4 movies, and I'm ready to fight for Saltburn, which is my number 3 spot. Okay, so here's what I have to say. And I said this in my first episode that I talked about Saltburn, and I was talking about when I was in the theater, how some of the reactions from people in the theater, I was like, what the fuck is going on? What is happening here? And the same experience that I had in the movie theater is what happened on social media when the movie came to Amazon Prime. When I was in the movie theater, let me do a recap for you. When I was in the movie theater and the slurping the cum bathwater scene happened and the period blood oral scene happened and the fucking a grave scene happened, when all of these things happened, there was people in the movie theater like, oh my God, my eyes. Like, people were exaggerating the fuck out of it. And I was sitting in that movie theater like, shut the fuck up. What do you guys, this is fun. He's living his best life. He's in alignment with his highest self, okay? This is horny bisexual fun, okay? I'm sorry you people don't know how to have fun. That's not my problem. I'm here seeing myself represented for the first time in my life. Horny, sexy, bisexual, stupid, silly, hot, fun. Okay? Fun. Horny, hot, bisexual fun. That's what I saw. I saw and I said, I'm not unacquainted, okay? You think this is news for me? Period oral? Come on, mama. Seen it, loved it. That's the vibe that we were going for, and I co-sign on it. I wasn't thinking this is shocking or crazy or really weird. I was looking at it thinking, Yes. Are you kidding? Yes, absolutely. Oh my God. Can we run that scene again? This is so good. Like, it's just so good and fun. And I was having a good time. But then, the same way in the movie theater, people were like, on the social media, the same thing happened where people were like making posts like, Saltburn's the craziest movie I've ever seen. Oh my God. Guys, beware if you're going to watch it. It's crazy. And then all these people see these posts being like, Saltburn is the craziest movie ever. Well, I guess I'm going to have to watch it. And then they go watch it. And people that probably would have otherwise liked the movie are now like disappointed because they went into Saltburn thinking it was going to be the craziest thing they've ever seen. And it fucking wasn't. Why did you guys do that? Why did you tell everyone it was going to be crazy? It's not crazy. It's hot, horny, bisexual fun is what it is. Like, I don't have anything else to say about it. Can we not just have fun? Can we not just enjoy ourselves? Can we not just hang out with other hot people and have period oral and let Barry Keoghan dance around a mansion completely in the nude? Can we not just enjoy that for what it is? Because that's what more could you want and ask for? I'm sorry that we needed it to be super crazy and wild. Like, it didn't need to be, because it wasn't. It was just fun. It was fun, you guys. Oh my God. So anyways, that's my beef with it. And I think I said something along those lines towards the end of the year about Past Lives, where I was like, I liked Past Lives, but I think what I heard about the movie going into it made me not like it as much, because people were like, this is the best love story of the year. It's such a good romance movie. And I was like, what? When I saw it? Because that's not really how I took it. And that's not how I felt. And I felt like if people had not said that, I probably would have liked it more. But I went into it thinking one thing and being like, I was supposed to be moved by the love part of this? Because I was not. And then people go and Saltburn, they're like, it's crazy. You're going to lose your mind. It's insane. And it's like, guys, can we rein it in a little? Because it's really not that crazy. But it didn't have to be. It's like, why are we giving these false reviews? I mean, like, it's not crazy in the way that it's like, okay, well, he did fuck a grave. We were having a good time, all right? We were getting a little crazy, but it's not like somebody's like, strap in, this movie's gonna alter your state of mind. You're never gonna forget, it's gonna scar your brain forever. Like, it's crazy in the sense that, like, he's having a good time. He had a lot of fun that summer, you know? But it's not crazy in the sense that it's like, this movie's fucked up and you're never going to be able to forget it. But I mean, maybe to some people it is. Maybe some people think about period oral and slurping cum out of the drain of a bathtub and they're like, that's insane. And to that I say, maybe you're just boring. Because I'm sorry, it's not that far off from some of the realities that the rest of us are living or want to live. So anyways, that's where I'm at with that. I need all of you guys to stop exaggerating shit and just let it be hot, horny, sexy, bisexual fun. Can bisexual people have nothing? Can the horny people of America not just enjoy something for the horn of it all? That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. We're trying to suppress horny America, and I'm not here for it. Let horny people have Saltburn, okay? Can we have one thing? So anyways, if anyone says anything about Saltburn in the comments, I might delete it. That's how little I want to hear other people's opinions about this fucking movie at this point. I'm like, can you all just be quiet? Can you all just hush? Shh. Just look at Barry Keoghan's face, okay? Just look at his little face. It's the year of the short king, and don't you fucking forget it. All right? We got Barry Keoghan. We've got Jeremy Allen White. Who knows who else we're going to have. I'm telling you. Year of short kings everywhere. Watch out. They're coming. Anyways, another piece of media on the internet that I have consumed, eaten up, enjoyed over the last few days. I finished watching it this morning, actually. But Damon Dominique, who is one of my absolute favorite creators on the internet and has been for many a year now. Damon is a master at video, storytelling, editing, all of it. I just am so inspired by Damon and what he's been able to create in the, decade that he's been on the internet. And he posted a video this week talking about social media, some reflections on social media, being a content creator, what like the landscape of social media and content creation is like right now and why it's like kind of the worst. And I watched it and I was just nodding my fucking head along, and I literally started taking notes because I was like, oh my God, I so agree. And I feel like I started talking about a part of this in my first video back on my main channel, where I talked briefly about like some of my grievances about short form content, which I've talked about before. And I feel like it's probably pretty apparent that I've never been a big short form content fan. I've been adamantly against YouTube Shorts. I have been off TikTok from like a consumption perspective, and I've probably posted like 4 TikTok videos in the last year and some change since when I deleted the app or stopped using it. It's still on my phone in a deep folder, but I swear to you, I don't open it. Since I stopped using TikTok, and really I do feel so much peace with my decision to not be on TikTok. I think that what I said in my YouTube video where I was talking about this was that it's like so much easier to compare yourself to other people's lives when you're seeing such a small fraction of it, when you're seeing like a 15-second video versus if you're watching a 30-minute YouTube video or an hour-long podcast. You get a little bit more of a well-rounded picture of who someone is or the stories they're telling, the things they're talking about, that it's not as easy to like compare yourself and beat yourself up like just for the fuck of it. And I feel like a lot of the content that I consume on Instagram and when I was on TikTok, like it would just make me feel bad about myself. And the other part of it that I was talking about in my video is how much of a time suck it is and like a brain number that it is. And as someone that struggles with anxiety, I think when I'm having like a bad, anxious day, I mean, it's been bad quite a bit lately, to be totally honest with you. And I found myself just off in another dimension, a lot. I'm like supposed to be doing things and I'm like, my brain just shuts off and goes somewhere, and I find it really hard to motivate myself to like do my tasks. I find it hard not to get distracted, and I just feel like generally not mentally there when I am that anxious. It's like my brain is looking for a way to shut itself off so I don't have to feel all of my anxiety. And I think that short form content sort of becomes a crutch in those moments because I can sit there on my phone for an hour and I can scroll, and it's a time suck. It is completely turning my brain off. It's numbing it. I gain nothing from it. There's nothing valuable that short form content gives me. Like with YouTube and with podcasts, I always feel like there's like a back and forth there that I feel like I get something out of consuming the people that I watch on YouTube and the podcast that I listen to, because I feel like I'm sitting and I'm thinking and I'm laughing and they're entertaining me. I'm having good reflections. They are teaching me about something. Like I feel like I am getting something out of long form content. With short form content, I could scroll for an hour, and then if you asked me what I just spent the last hour of my life watching, I can't fucking tell you. I'm like, I don't know. I can probably tell you the last few that I watched, but I mean, I wasn't really impacted by any of it, so I don't know. And it's like, oh, they're all like, I don't know, 6 to 12 seconds long, so I only remember like the last 30 to 60 seconds of my life after I'm scrolling. I'm thinking like even this morning I was scrolling for, at least a half hour, and I don't remember any of them. I remember I sent one to my mom. I don't even remember what it was. I do not remember what I sent her. This is how little short form content means to me. Like, I just feel like I'm not impacted positively by it in any way. I don't feel that it brings anything valuable into my life, and I'm just becoming more and more critical of my consumption of this type of content and the time that I'm giving to it, because I don't see its purpose in my life anymore, and I do feel that it is impacting my life negatively. And I think a lot of times a lot of people have a lot of criticisms about social media, a lot of which I don't agree with, and a lot of which I do agree with. I love social media. It's added so much joy and goodness to my life, and there are so many creators that I look up to that I think are doing incredible things. People are so creative and thoughtful, and they're producing entire fucking shows by themselves in their bedrooms, and it is like, really, it is so impressive. And I have long loved social media content creators because of this, and I feel so inspired by these people. I feel so lucky to be in community with them. And listen, I love this fucking place more than anything. I love social media. If you want to go watch Damon's video, I will link it in the description of this podcast. I really just think that he vocalizes a lot of how I've been feeling about the internet pretty well. I really don't like this era of the internet. I've been on the internet for a long time. I've been making videos for this year. It will be 14 years that I've been making videos on the internet. And yeah, this is one of my least favorite eras of the internet. I just find a lot of it insufferable. Something that Damon hits on towards the beginning of his video is like, it's kind of hard to be someone that cares about like the art of video right now. And I so agree. Damon in his video was recounting a story where he had a conversation with some short form content creator, and they had asked him how long it takes him to complete a video. I forget what Damon said. It was probably like a week, 2 weeks, however long it takes to create like a long form piece of content. And they responded by being like, oh, I can make 10 videos in 1 hour, which is like, okay, these things are not the same. Like making a 30-minute YouTube video is not the same thing as making 10 6-second TikTok videos. That you in no universe can you compare them. These are two totally different tasks at hand that we're talking about here. I'm sure you can make 10 videos in an hour, and I love that for you. And I hope you have fun doing that. The maddening part is that it does work, and they have the winning strategy. And we're in an era of the internet where it is quantity over quality times 100. You just need to feed the algorithm. People need to be in a constant stream of consumption or they're bored. So for someone who gives a fuck about like the integrity of video, the art of video, creating something meaningful and beautiful and something that you're proud of, it's kind of fucking hard. And this is something that I've felt over the last year, where I feel like sometimes I want to take so much longer on a piece of content, and I'll be working on something and I'll be so excited about it. I'll have an idea that I'm like, oh, this is going to be so amazing. It's going to be so fun. And then I have to finish it, but I can't take forever on a piece of content. I've got fucking bills to pay. I've got contracts to execute. I wish that I had the luxury of taking longer, but the reality is that like the demand is for constant content. So brands are demanding that, and we're working on certain schedules, and it's all just it's manufactured, it's planned for constant consumption, which is awful. And I do feel that it is like just at the detriment of the creative person, which is the worst. And because there is this demand for constant content, and people just expect to see a piece of content in front of them all the time, people have like an inability to see how much work goes into one piece of content anymore, because when you're used to getting it all the time, when it's not there, when someone takes more time, it's like people don't even perceive that as like, oh, that's a reasonable amount of time to take to create a piece of art, a work of, you know, their creative self that they're going to put on a platter in front of me. This is how long it takes to do that thing. People don't care. They're just like, give me more. I'm hungry. Give me content. And then towards the end of the video, and this part, I was like, oh, I'm so glad Damon mentioned this, because this is part of why I feel like so uninterested with the internet lately, and just kind of fucking annoyed and just generally like over it. Damon was talking about how with short form content, and these people exist on long form pieces of content as well, but there's no context for a lot of the short form content that gets posted, and people get mad about every little fucking thing. And I wish I had an example at the top of my head, but the example that Damon used was that he had posted a video on Instagram or TikTok or whatever talking about renting an Airbnb and them not having olive oil in the kitchen. And he was talking about how, like, you know what, are you just not gonna have toilet paper in the bathroom now? Do I have to bring that for myself? You're not gonna have sheets on the bed? Do I need to bring that for myself? Like, going to an Airbnb that has a kitchen and they don't have olive oil, salt, pepper, that feels like it should be the same thing. So Damon posts this video. Why is there no olive oil? Isn't the same as toilet paper? What the heck? Like, it's just not a fucking big deal. It's not that fucking deep. And it gets thrown on people's For You pages, thrown into the algorithm, and shown to people that have no idea who Damon is, no idea what his content is like, what his sense of humor is like, none of it. And people get up in arms, like so fucking mad at him because he said that he thought that Airbnbs should have olive oil there if they have a fucking kitchen. He called them olive oil fighters. And I was giggling along when he was talking about this, because I feel like, yes, these types of people exist with short form content where they're watching something that they have no context for, and they're just immediately getting angry and judging someone and like writing a whole essay on why this person is wrong. You need to do some reflections and look at yourself in the mirror and you're so whatever, and like trying to have like this gotcha moment with this person they don't know on the internet. And I think it happens a lot more on short form pieces of content, which this is part of why I deleted TikTok, because I felt like anytime I posted anything, I'd have a bunch of people that had no idea who I was criticizing me for every little tiny thing that I said. And I was in my brain being like, I can't say anything right. Like, there's what's the point in fucking posting on this goddamn website? I'm just gonna get yelled at for every single thing I do. And yes, I find that it is probably more prevalent with short form content because of the lack of context, but this exists with long form content too. And it frustrates the fuck out of me. And then Damon goes on to talking about like mob mentality on the internet, why you don't want to post because you're afraid to say anything. Like, yeah, people are always trying to mold you into what they want you to be. If you are not a perfect mirror for them, for their life, for their experience, there are some people that will get mad at you and be like, this is wrong because I don't relate to it. This is unrelatable. I am not like you, and therefore it is bad. And I find it so annoying. I find it truly so annoying. I was talking to my therapist about this last week, about how I like feel a lot of dread about posting on the internet lately. And it's because sometimes I do feel like there's like, no matter what I say or do, people will have something to be mad at me about. Like, even literally, and I'm so sorry to bring it up again, but even with Saltburn, I watched this movie. I like it. I talk about it on the internet. And then I'm getting 6-page essays in my DMs from people saying that I'm classist for liking Saltburn. And I need to look in the mirror and do some reflection and do better and whatever the fuck else. And I'm like, I'm reading the shit and I'm like, you are so annoying. You are so annoying. And then I'm talking to my therapist being like, I'm afraid to even say out loud, that's fucking annoying. It is. It's annoying that I can't like a movie, that I can't be like, this was fun and horny, without someone trying to gotcha me into being like, oh, well, you're actually a shitty person because you liked this fucking movie. What? I can't even say that I enjoyed a movie, that I had a good time, that that I liked a piece of art without someone looking at me and trying to have a gotcha moment and be like, actually, you're a bad person and I caught you, bitch. Now apologize and reflect and do better. It's like people want to make you feel small and make themselves feel like, oh, look, I'm so smart. And I knew that this movie was bad and awful and you shouldn't like it. I'm like, oh my God. Every single thing. There's something to be said about it. And I was talking to my therapist about how it makes me not want to say anything at all sometimes. And that's stressful when it's my job to do this and to show up here and to talk about my life and these things. And sometimes it sucks feeling like you can't fucking win. And I know that the majority of people do not act like this. But the people that do act like this are really fucking loud and irritating. And that's the truth of it. So I've had a lot of moments where I've just been like, I don't want to be perceived at all. I don't want to be, in this person's thought patterns at all today. I don't want to read any comments being yelled at because of the movies that I like. And then I just start to overthink myself. And it's like, this whole thing is fun because I get to show up and be myself and talk about what's fun and interesting to me. And that's great. And it stops being fun when I feel like I can't show up as myself. When I feel like I'm afraid to be fully me because somebody's going to criticize me for something ridiculous. So anyways, I don't love this era of the internet where it feels like everyone is trying to have a gotcha moment and prove inside their own brains that you're not actually as cool as other people think you are or as they initially thought you were. Sometimes it feels like there's actually no way to win. No matter what I say, no matter what I do, there's going to be someone that is pissed off about what I have said. Even in this podcast, I'm sure that there will be things that people are mad at me about. And part of what I'm dealing with in therapy now is trying to accept that somehow. Trying to accept that I cannot win and that there will always be people that will criticize me for what I believe to be asinine things and get up in arms when I do not feel it is warranted or justified. The olive oil fighters, as Damon says. Yeah, it's irritating to me and it makes me not want to post anything at all. And that sucks. And I hope that I won't always feel this way. I hope that it'll pass or this era of the internet will shift and we'll leave this era, because there was a time where I felt like the internet was the only place I could be myself. And I just don't think I feel that way anymore. I don't think I feel like I can totally be myself on the internet. I feel like, I don't know. It's like when you just get yelled at for being yourself so many times over, it's like you start to feel like, well, what's the point of being myself if I'm just going to be yelled at for everything? Even though it's 4 people that are yelling at you. I'm sensitive. I don't like it when people do that. It's not, the majority of people don't act like this, but the people that do, I'm like, you guys are insufferable. You actually make the internet such a terrible place for everyone else. And I mean that with my whole chest. Offense intended. Yeah, I don't know. It is kind of unbelievable. The people that get mad at olive oil, that get mad at you saying that there should be olive oil in Airbnbs. Those type of people. Nobody's talking about people that have genuine criticisms or want to contribute or disagree with someone in a meaningful way. Nobody's talking about that. We're talking about people that are trying to argue and criticize and have a gotcha moment over stupid shit constantly. You are fucking annoying. You are. I need you to know this desperately. So anyways, I think it is a pretty bleak time to be a creative person on the internet, because I think the algorithms are working against you. I think that the general timelines and expectations for what it means to be a content creator, both from the brand perspective and the audience perspective, is not beneficial to creative people right now. the algorithms rewarding like constant content and not necessarily quality content or unique content sucks. And on top of that, this era of the internet includes so much unnecessary scrutiny and, you know, people just wanting you to be a mirror for them. And if you are not the perfect mirror for them, if your experiences don't completely mirror theirs, then guess what? You're getting yelled at. Enjoy it. So anyways, if this topic interests you at all, I really recommend watching Damon's video. It's like an hour long. So Damon gets into it, and I think it's well worth the watch. If any of what I said meant anything at all to you. I am going to do like 1 or 2 submissions and then jump into Love Island because we have so much more to talk about. I actually can't believe I've already been recording for over an hour at this point, and it just is time for us to move on here. Should I give up on someone when I don't know how they feel about me? A month ago, I met a guy online and quickly arranged a coffee date. Texting was bad, but the date was nice, except when he was an hour late. So I just thought, we're not compatible texting, which I don't mind as long as I feel like he cares. However, winter holiday made it impossible to arrange another date. Texting again felt off, so I just asked him if he'd like to meet. He did, but wouldn't tell me when. I know he's busy, but it's been weeks. I confronted him, asking if he really wants to meet or if he wants to break it off. He apologized, and again, he said yes, but again, hasn't proposed a date. I want to leave the situation open for him, but I think giving up may be better for me, and I don't want to wither in waiting for him forever. Okay, so let's start with what do we like about this guy? Because he doesn't sound like he has shown us a lot of attractive qualities up until this point. He might be a great guy, but he has not shown you that. So I don't know why we're giving him like such grace and why we're catering to him and leaving the situation open, being like, whatever you want, whatever works for you. What about what you want? What works for you? Let's think about you and what you feel good about, what you're attracted to, what you want in a partner, and whether or not he's ticking anything in like the very little that you know about him up until this point. Okay, so you met online, and texting is bad beforehand. He's not very great at texting, which I don't necessarily think is a red flag, but I do think there's a difference between being a bad texter and a bad communicator. So we'll come back to this, because in the beginning, being a bad texter, that's one thing. Then you go on the date and he's an hour late, which is hugely bad. That's not 10 minutes late. That is an hour late. That is, I don't value your time levels of late. That is, grounds to get up and leave and not wait for him levels of late. So that's really bad. But then you had a good date. He's charming, at least a little bit, and you had a good in-person experience. Okay, fine. So you are, at this point, you're like, texting is bad. He was super late, but we had a great date, so I'm willing to give it another shot. So at this point, you should be thinking he's got to prove himself a little bit, because he's bad at texting and he just like damn near stood you up. An hour late, it's on him to sort of like put in some effort and get this second date off the ground if he really wants to see you, because he's kind of fumbling right now. So if he was really like this stand-up guy that's having like a fluke weekend where everything's going wrong, you think that he would step it up to make date 2 happen. That doesn't happen. He's bad at texting again and busy and unable to nail down plans. At some point, that to me switches from bad texter to bad communicator. Being bad at texting is something that like a lot of us can relate to and have empathy for. But when you're trying to see someone and you're just trying to make plans and it takes 5 seconds to be like, yeah, I'm available this weekend, or no, I'm not. Actually, this date works for me instead, though. It takes like 5 fucking seconds to do that. If you can't do that, that's like beyond being a bad texter, and that goes into like bad communicator space to me. I don't care if you're busy. We're all fucking busy. I don't think this is the type of person that you want to date. I wouldn't want to date this person. It doesn't sound like he wants to put a lot of time and effort into dating right now. It doesn't sound like he's been trying to impress you at all, or to earn your affection in any way. And I don't think that you should leave the situation open for him to decide anything. I think you should decide that this is not how you want to be treated by someone who's courting you. I think that so often young women in dating are just taught to make themselves as like palatable and attractive as possible. And I get it, because I used to do this shit all the fucking time, where I felt like I was so worried about appearing like too much or overwhelming for having like boundaries and rules for how I expect someone to treat me when being courted. I get it, but also at some point you have to sort of look at how you're being treated and be like, okay, where's the good? He might be charming and good to have a conversation with. A fucking lot of people are. Okay? So why don't you go find someone who's charming and can have a good conversation, but is also a good communicator, that's putting an effort to see you and won't be an hour late on the date. And then after all of this happened, instead of proving to you that it was a fluke and he was having a hard weekend where he just happened to be an hour late and bad at texting, he has proven to be actually even harder to communicate with and not putting in any effort to try to see you again or impress you in any way. Why would you want to be with someone like that? You don't. Now, I'm not saying this is you, but I think when I was in my phase of life where I was trying to make myself like the most palatable person possible, trying to make myself the most easygoing, I'll mold to your schedule, I'll mold to what you want. Yeah, like whenever you're free, whenever you can, it's all right if you're busy and you can't text me back for 4 days. Like, that's totally fine. Don't worry about it at all. Like, no, do worry about it. It's not fine. When I was trying to make myself so small and make my needs so small that it was like, oh, don't worry about it. Literally, I'm totally fine, when I totally was not fine. I think a lot of that was motivated by me, like, questioning my ability to be loved and not, I don't know, like having sort of a scarcity mindset with love. So when I did meet someone and I was so worried that I wasn't lovable, it was like I was trying everything in my power to like make them love me and to not fuck it up, because I was worried that nobody could and that there was something wrong with me or I was too much, I was so overwhelming. And it's like, by leaning into all of that, you're denying yourself the ability to meet someone that like sees and appreciates all of you for who you are, and you can show up and you can ask for what you want in a relationship, and you can, you know, find someone who puts in the effort and communicates with you, even if they are a bad texter, because guess what? Even people that are bad texters are gonna step up the communication game if they want to. Take it from a bad texter. I can be a great texter when I try to be, you know? So I just think that if any of what I said resonated, what I would say here is I would personally walk away, because I do not think this person is going to be a good fit. And I think that you deserve someone with a little bit more enthusiasm for you. And I don't think that we should make ourselves doormats for people to walk all over. Whatever you want, whatever you need, I'll leave the door open for you. Let's not. Let's decide what we want, what we are comfortable with, and other people either check that and they show up for us in that way, or they don't. And it doesn't sound like he is. So maybe not the one. Hello, Maddie. Fun, lighthearted little slumber party cue for you and the community. What would you recommend for an 18th birthday for a girl who hasn't found her community yet and isn't a partier? What did you do for yours? What are your fondest birthday memories? Channeling cake, disco balls, and introspection forever and always. Love you and who you are and what you do, Maddie. I think how I celebrate my birthday has shifted over the years. I used to be like a birthday week kind of person. I didn't make everybody celebrate me for a week, but I did plan special things for myself every day of the week. I don't do that for a full week now, but I use a few days to celebrate myself. But like when I was younger, I used to do like, okay, this day I'm going shopping, and this day I'm going to get a tattoo, and the next day is going to be a birthday dinner, and the next day I'm doing a game night, and the next night I'm going to a concert. Like I would have like something fun for myself every day of the week. I've never been like a big birthday party type of person. I don't really like that. I think I've had one birthday party my whole life. And that was in college. I mean, I had like children's birthday parties or like sleepover parties, but that's different. sleepover parties, it's not like a party where there's like tons of fucking people there. So most of my birthdays have been, you know, either me planning little fun activities for myself every day of the week, or just like a birthday dinner and a sleepover. When I was a kid, my birthdays were always sleepovers. Even when I was older, my 21st birthday, it was a sleepover themed birthday, and I made everybody sleep in sleeping bags on the floor of my apartment. And yeah, last year I went to the spa on my birthday. I spent all day at a spa from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. And then I went to an Italian restaurant with 3 of my friends and called it a night. I think I'm going to do the same thing this year, just having like a spa day and relaxing with like 1 or 2 other people. And maybe I'll host a game night or something at my apartment for, you know, more of my friends to come hang out one night. And that'll probably be it. I don't know. I think that I started enjoying birthdays more when I allowed them to be a solo experience. There were a few birthdays in college where I cried a whole lot on my birthday, and I just felt so sad. And I think those were the birthdays where we had all these plans and things to do, like, oh, there's going to be a group of like 10 of us that go out to dinner, and then there's going to be, you know, we're all going to go to karaoke afterwards. We're going to do, like, I used to cry and cry and cry on those birthdays because I never felt, I don't know, I never felt like happy. I think it sometimes made me feel like there were so many people around that I couldn't connect with any of them. And then I hate that feeling of being in like a big group full of people, and it's like there's so many people to connect to and I can't connect to any of them. They're all people I love, but I'm just like here and I can't seem to reach anybody. Like I'm not a group person. And so I don't really love that because I think it just makes me feel alone in a bad way. And I think that leaning into enjoying birthdays alone in a good way has been nice for me. And just, you know, going to a spa with one of my friends, like this last year I went to the spa with one friend. It was just the 2 of us for most of the day, and then she left at like 3 p.m. I think, and so I had like a few hours at the spa by myself before I went to dinner, and she met us back at dinner, and 2 of my other friends met me there. And like that was awesome to me, to have just like this one-on-one time with my friend on my birthday, just hanging out in the pools and the saunas and just chatting, drinking wine, and then meeting up with a few other people for dinner, just keeping it small. I just feel better doing things like that. I would rather have 3 separate small hangouts for my birthday than do one big large gathering. I don't like it. And I think I just have more fun on my birthdays when I dedicate it to relaxing and having nice solo and, you know, 1 or 2 other people time than trying to make it like a grand celebration. I think I'll always be disappointed. I'll always be sad, and I'll always be homesick. Birthdays make me very, very homesick. I think I've said this before, but it was like, I think it's feeling like if I was home, my mom would have made it special for me. My grandma would have made it special for me. And there's something about like a big birthday celebration that I had to plan myself that never feels great. Never feels great. If somebody else planned me a big birthday celebration, maybe I'd feel differently, but there's something about like planning it all yourself that just doesn't hit for me. If I'm going to plan it all myself, I kind of want it to be easy and solo and not a big fucking deal. So that's what I do for my birthday now. I don't remember what I did on my 18th birthday. I'm pretty sure I was at a dance competition. I don't know. All right, babe. You know what time it is. It's that sweaty, sexy time of year where we take Britain's finest and we put them in an expensive villa down in South Africa, and we say do crazy things to each other, fall in love, fuck in the hideaway, and get your bird, babes. It's that beautiful time of year, babes, where we go to Love Island. Dun 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 dun. It's Love Island time, babes. And we're here and we're having a good time. And this season, it's about to be fucking crazy. Fucking crazy, babes. Why, when I do the British accent, do I have to, like, drop into a lower voice? Fucking crazy, babes. Like, why can't I just be like, fucking fucking crazy, babes? That was kind of Australian, wasn't it? Why can't I just talk normal in a British accent? Fucking crazy, babes. Like absolute madness over here, really. I don't understand it, but it's been bonkers. It's been off the walls crazy. And I just can't believe it. I can't believe it. And it's going to be a wet, hot summer, as they say. Even though it's January. Anyways, we're back in the South Africa villa. And this season of Love Island is going to be crazy because it is Love Island All-Stars, baby. It's Love Island fucking All-Stars. So as someone that's seen every single season of Love Island UK, I am living in my dream world where I only have to deal with people that I've already seen and know and love to make fun of. All right, so first people in the villa, it's Hannah from season 1. Hannah from season 1 and Liberty from season 7. Love both of these girlies. Great choices for first people in the villa. Hannah from season 1 famously got engaged on the show. However, and this is how they introduced her in the episode where they're like, Hannah, I famously got engaged on the show. And I was in my head like, famously got engaged on the show. How about famously fucked above the covers on the show? Because that's what I remember from that season when they were like, there's no way they're going to put this in. We'll just fuck on top of the covers. No, babe, they put it in. They put that shit in. There was no rules. Season 1 of Love Island was crazy back then. They would never do that shit now. Anyways, Hannah, season 1. She's 33 now and has kids, which is so exciting. And I'm interested to see like what the age range of all the contestants is going to be this season, because usually there's like nobody above the age of like 29 in the villa. Usually it's like between 20 and 26, really, I would say. 30s, though, I don't feel that we've had like barely any people in their 30s on Love Island. So I kind of love that these are all repeat islanders. So the age range might be a little bit skewed higher, or I don't know. Love Island hasn't been around for that many years, so it's probably not going to be that crazy. But if they were in their late 20s on their season, they're going to be in their 30s now. So I think we're probably looking at like a season that is at least slightly older than the seasons we usually see from Love Island, just because they're all people that have been on the show before. So I think that's interesting, and also interesting that she has kids now. And I'm interested to see how that plays into like her ability to make connections and find love in the villa, who is going to be like mature enough and open to dating someone with children, and if they want kids, or how that comes up, if it comes up at all. Interested. Liberty was from season 7, and she was with loser asshole Jake, who unfortunately is next in the villa. I'm really glad Liberty's back though, because I really liked her on season 7. I think she's a sweetheart. And Jake, who is a loser, and he is also in the villa this season. Allegedly, they haven't spoken since they broke up in season 7, which was 2 years ago. So this is a little awkward. Also, he's 26. When he was introducing himself, he was like, I'm mature now, I'm 26. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, you're 26? You're the same age as me? Like, I just have an inability to perceive other people's ages, I think. I think I perceive everyone on Earth as older than me because I'm baby. Like, I look at... Also, I just feel like British people all look older than they are. I don't know what's in the water over there, but all of you look like hunky and 5 years older than you actually are inside my brain. Like, Jake could be 31 for sure to me. Like, 28 minimum. 26? He's my age? I just can't picture it. It doesn't make sense to me. Then we have Chris from season 5, my favorite season. Though Chris wasn't like a main player in season 5. He came in towards the later half of the season, I want to say. But that's okay. Season 5 favorite, so get in there, baby. He was also in Barbie. He also introduced himself by saying, I've been single for 3 years, which is definitely my fault. I'm the problem. So at least he knows. That's something. We can work with that. So anyways, it's immediately a little bit awkward between Jake and Liberty, and they're sitting on the couch talking about what they want at this stage in life. And Liberty says that she wants someone emotionally mature and random. Like someone who says, let's do a roly-poly right now. And I was like, what? What are you talking about? I want someone emotionally mature and, a little random. Like, just say, let's do a roly-poly right now. Like, is that a somersault? Is that a British somersault? Is a roly-poly? You want someone emotionally mature, but also is down to do a somersault at any given moment. Interesting. Duality of man. Liberty showed us everything we needed to see in that moment. Next, we've got Kaz and Mitch. Kaz is also from season 7, so we've got a lot of season 7 people in right off the bat. Kaz was Liberty's bestie in their season, and I loved the both of them together in season 7, so I'm glad that they're both in it together, which I think the producers knew that they were well loved in their season, so I get why they're putting them back in together. And then Mitch was from last season, season 10. Absolutely no one wanted him back. Not one person said, who we would love to see in Love Island All-Stars is Mitch, who we just had to put up with for 2.5 months this summer. I'm good. I actually didn't need to see Mitch in another season of Love Island, but we're here and we're being put through it. Next, we have Anton and Loyal G. Loyal G, baby. Anton from season 5. Anton is my king. I don't care what anyone says. Anton is who I needed to be in this season. If you don't know, if you don't remember, he's the one whose mom shaves his bum. This is how he introduces himself, and it's so true, and that's how you're gonna remember him, is Anton was widely known for having his mom shave his bum. And Godspeed to him. Anton is a freak and a weirdo, and I get such bizarre energy from him. I can't pin him down at all, so I'm glad that he's back. And then Georgia, but I'm going to call her Loyal G because there's 2 Georgias on this season, and it's just easier if we call her Loyal G because you know exactly who I'm talking about. Loyal G is from season 4. Again, she's 25. What the fuck is going on? I thought that she was much older than 25. No, she's younger than me. What the F, you guys? I have no idea how old British people are. Next in, we've got Toby and Lewis. Toby, another season 7er, who is apparently desperate for clout right now because he was just on Love Island Games 2, which I did not finish watching, by the way. Could not get into it. I just didn't care at all. They really did say, let's take the worst part of Love Island, the games, and make it the whole show. I'm good, actually. Also, I straight up don't care about anyone that wasn't on Love Island UK. Love Island US, don't care. Love Island Australia, don't care. I want Love Island UK, and that's it. If it was Love Island Games and it was just the UK people, maybe I could have gotten into it a little bit more than I did. But yeah, it was going to be a no for me. But Toby was just on that. And now he's back on this season. Toby's messy and like emotionally immature, but he is funny and like good television. In my head, I'm like, I don't think he's the worst. Like, I think I could tolerate being friends with someone like Toby, but I would never in my life date a Toby. And then last in the villa, we've got Demi and Georgia. Demi from season 6, and then Georgia from season 3. Okay, we've got all our players. We know who's here. Okay, great. Iconic and legendary. Maya Jama comes in and tells the girls to stand next to the boy that they fancy the most, and they don't have to just pick one guy. Like if somebody else picks a guy, they can still go line up behind them. So Liberty picks Mitch. Why? Have you learned nothing? I just feel like Mitch and who he is should be so fresh in your brain. Liberty, I would have hoped that we could have picked someone better at this point. Having just seen his season, it's fresh in your brain. Why do we want to pick Mitch? Okay. Georgia, Loyal G almost picks Toby and then switches to Anton at the last second. Demi picks Lewis, and then Kaz, Georgia, and Hannah all pick Chris. No one picks Jake or Toby in the end. But who they couple up with isn't up to them. It is up to the public. Loyal, that is not happening until the end of the day. So they let them disperse and go about their lives. We learned that Loyal Loyal G and Toby have had a thing in the past. So they've been hooking up, they've been kissing. There's some things that have happened in, you know, the outside world that we don't know about yet. And we'll see what that vibe is. When talking about this little thing that they've had, Loyal G says that she is a little concerned about his age because she doesn't usually date younger than her. I don't think he's that much younger than her there, though. Like, she's 25. He must be like 23 or 24. Not going to double check that. That's just what I'm assuming. But again, we know that I don't know a lot about what British people look like based on age. I would have said that Toby was older than that. But now that I know that he's younger than Loyal G, who's 25, I would say 23, 24. So I don't think he's that much younger than her. I think that she's just being a little dramatic. And she was also saying that she does constantly think to herself, like, if we were going to be together, wouldn't we have already been together at this point? And then he says that he would have picked her if he was asked to line up after the person that he was the most attracted to or is the most interested in. And then she said that she wanted to, but then she was like, I don't want to like stick to what I know. And, I don't know, maybe it's just because it's comfortable. I feel safe with you. It's like, is that a bad thing? Should we really be being like, I feel too comfortable and safe with you? I should not do that. Like, what world do we live in where we don't want to do that? Then Liberty is in the confessional talking about Mitch, and she goes, he's got a reputation for being quite messy, but, you know, people change, people mature. And I'm like, babe, it's literally been 6 months. It has literally been 6 months since Mitch's season, like, if that. He pretty sure he has not changed and matured in the span of 6 months. But I love that you believe in him, and I love your optimism and faith in the world, Lib. Literally never fucking change. I love you, bestie. But also, Mitch, come on. Like, I want better for you, Liberty, at the end of the day, and that's where I'm coming from here, but I do love you. Then we get to the coupling part. The public has put these couples together. The couples are Chris and Demi, Lewis and Georgia, Toby and Loyal G, Anton and Hannah, Jake and Liberty, and Mitch and Kaz. British public, you will fucking pay for this. That's all I have to say to you. Because, okay, you just heard the order that I said. So that was the order they were called in. So at the end, we're looking at Jake, Liberty, Mitch, and Kaz, which might I remind you, Jake and Liberty are exes, and Jake was horrible to her on season 7. So you're like, okay, and Kaz is her bestie. So these are the options. The British public has either decided to put Liberty back with this horrible man, or they've decided to put Liberty's bestie with her horrible ex. What the fuck is wrong with you people? What the fuck is wrong with you people? Said it in a way that you would understand. What the fuck is wrong with you? I've got beef with the British public, babes. You guys do crazy shit. And you know what? Maybe I should be thanking you. No, I shouldn't, because it actually wasn't even interesting. I get that maybe you thought you were stirring shit for interesting drama, but nothing happened, and it wasn't worth it, and nothing was interesting. They put Jake and Liberty together and Mitch and Kaz together. You guys are sick and twisted. So the couples are together. And Maya Jama was like, but don't you worry, babes. We've got a Love Island all-star twist. Let's fucking go. First bombshell comes in. Who is it? It's Callum from season 6. Now, Callum famously ended up in a relationship with someone that he met during Casa Amor in season 6. Mole. He says it like that. Mole. Ended up in a relationship with her. They've been together for like the last 3.5 years, and just recently broke up like in the last 6 months. So it's fresh. And he's back in the Love Island villa to find love, perhaps a second time. And then my Jam was like, but before we let you have your pick, Callum, we've got one more all-star for you to choose from. Now, we all know what's going to happen. We all know who's going to walk through those doors. And I'm sitting there and I'm eating it up. And I'm like, oh my God, are they going to do it? Are they going to do it? and then they do it. It's like going to a drag show and being like, is there going to be a reveal? And it's like, of course there's going to be a reveal. But they're like, oh my God, what is it? And then it happens and you're like, oh my God, it did. And that's exactly what I did when Mole walked through those fucking doors, babes. I was clapping my hands and doing the wave, and I was dancing, and I was having such a good time. And I just love this stupid show. I love it so much. I love it. It's so messy and dumb, and I just love it. I love it. I love it. So Molly's here. Mole is here. And that's Callum's ex. They've got history together. They were like fully in a relationship, living together for over 3 years. So you know what? This could shake things up a bit. So then it's up to Callum to pick who he wants to be with, if he wants to steal one of the other girls out of their couples, or if he wants to couple up with Mole. And Callum picks Molly, and she seems pissed. She seems like totally unimpressed that he has just picked her to be in a couple. So then a little bit later, they're each talking about like, well, why did you break up? The boys are asking Callum, why did you and Molly break up? And then Molly's having the same conversation with the girls, and they both basically say the same thing, which is that it wasn't one big moment. It wasn't like there was one big thing that broke the camel's back. They were just fighting a lot, and they decided that it just wasn't working anymore. They weren't getting on, as they say. And I guess immediately after they broke up, he went out and hit the town, and was just like, photographed out all the time with all these girls. And she was like, that's so disrespectful. We just broke up. Like, what are you doing? Sort of thing. Like, you're embarrassing and like disrespecting our relationship by hopping back out there and behaving like this so publicly, so quickly. And so she was like, yeah, we didn't end on bad terms, but like, I'm not happy with a lot of the ways that you acted in the aftermath of our breakup. So I think there's going to be a lot of interesting conversations this season between the two of them. I'm actually like so fascinated that we get to see them actually like go through like having real genuine conflict in their relationship that has had like years of history. I think that's really interesting. I think it's going to make for really good TV from my perspective. I can already see some people being like,
No one wants to listen to this old relationship drama. Nobody wants to hear you guys complain and fighting with you. I want juicy things.
like, I want to hear real people hashing it out. I do. It is interesting to me, so I'm excited about that. So it's the first week. Everyone's sort of flirting with everybody, talking around, keeping their options open, yada yada yada, whatever. First game is a dare game. Not a lot to report. There's just a lot of kissing that happens. Kissing the person you want to share the bed with the most. The sexiest snog on the islander of your choice. Twerk on the islander you fancy the most. Snog your type on paper. It's just like about like kissing the people that you actually want to kiss, or the people that you actually would want to be in a couple with. I don't know, not much to report. It's still like, it's so early. It's not clear who is going for who seriously at this point in time. So as a reminder, Demi, Callum, and Molly are all from season 6. So Demi at one point is asking Callum, like, just between the two of us, would you want to get back with Molly again? And Callum was like, I mean, if everything was perfect, I would get back with Molly again. Then Demi later on in the like makeup room was asking Molly and was like, would you ever get back with Callum? And she was like, maybe, but it doesn't sound like his head is there, because he said he only got with her out of respect, because around the fire pit during the dare game, Callum was talking to the boys, and some of them were like asking, I don't know, I forget sort of how this went down, but there was some chat about like why he had picked Molly and if he felt weird about Molly being kissed by someone else in the challenge. And he was like, she can do whatever she wants. Like, I coupled up with her out of respect. Like, first coming in, I felt like I should couple up with Molly and have some conversations with her before starting to go with other people. And I guess Molly overheard that, and she took it as like him not wanting to have like meaningful conversations with her and like actually try to work things out, and that he just wants to like satisfy her for like the purposes of appearing respectful. And I was like, okay, so you're both open to rekindling your relationship, but it seems like neither of you want to like outright say that, at least not at this point. Chris is like sexy weird. Like, he's a little strange. He's like making all these jokes that don't really land. He's just like he's a weird guy. However, something about it works for me. He's like sexy, weird, smooth in a way that I think that it would work on me. I think his whole shtick just works on me. Okay, anyways, next morning, Georgia is like meditating outside, and Jake joins in and meditates with her. This is not important information until later on. So Loyal G is having a conversation with Toby, asking about why he and Chloe broke up. Chloe is the only girlfriend that Toby's ever had. Met Chloe on season 7 of Love Island. They were together for a while. When he was answering why they broke up, he said it's because he didn't trust her anymore, but he wouldn't specify what the like inciting incident was. And he just said it was big. And Georgia asked if she like went out and was talking with other guys and cheated on him, basically. And he said something like that. So I think sounds like she for sure cheated on him in some way, shape, or form. I wonder if she has said anything about it on her podcast, because I know that Chloe has her own little show going that she does weekly. So I wonder if she's commented on the fact that he said this on the show yet. Mitch at this point seems to decide that he likes Demi more than Liberty, but you can never really trust what he says. So I'm still not ruling out anybody pairing with anybody at this point. But Mitch was looking at Demi and Liberty. Now he seems to be leaning more towards Demi. Then, halfway through the afternoon, Jake gathers everyone around the fire pit and basically tells everyone he's going to leave on day 3. I swear to God, this man meditated and had a come to God moment where he was like, I've got to leave. There's just no one in here for me. And it's like, it's been 3 days. Also, did you forget how this works? Like, they're constantly bringing in new islanders. Just because there's no one in here for you right now doesn't mean there's not going to be anyone in here for you. But here's my conspiracy theory. I do not think that Jake was in here to find love. I think he was in here to save his fractured reputation from season 7. This is my conspiracy. I think that he entered the villa with the intention of reconciling with Liberty, or having like an easygoing back and forth, making his peace with that, and then leaving before anything dramatic can happen and like he gets in any more trouble. So now his only like public perception from this season of Love Island All-Stars is him having like a pretty peaceful whatever conversation with Liberty, where they put the past behind them and are like, I hope the best for you, whatever. He gives it one additional day and he's like, you know what? I'm going to fuck off now. I feel like he was in here to do just that. He was in there to do a little reputation 180. I don't think he was actually ever in here to find love or on Love Island for any other reason. I think this was totally producer built. I think this was all planned beforehand. I don't even think it was him conspiring like this. I think that it was like a mutual agreement. I think people got in there and they said, we're going to make something big. We're going to do something crazy. He had his Debbie Ryan moment. He walked into the Disney office. He walked into the ITV office and he said, I'm ready to make history. Toby and Loyal G start doing relationship therapy with Callum and Molly, which this is fascinating to me. This was entertaining to me. And he says that he still loves her. And she says that he never showed her enough affection and words of affirmation. And him saying that he loves her right now is like more words of affirmation than she got in like the last 6 months of their relationship. And Molly's like, the first time I told him that I loved him, he laughed in my face. And she's basically saying that she thinks that his emotional maturity is like on the floor. And allegedly, he called her high maintenance for wanting more emotional maturity and wanting more like affection from him, which is really fucking funny. If anyone called me high maintenance for wanting to be loved properly in the way that is going to hit the best for me, I'd be like, excuse the fuck out of me. I think that'd be grounds for a breakup personally. So you know what? Maybe this breakup was good for them. Then Molly says that she saw them getting married, but he didn't see it. And he doesn't refute this at all. And she says that he was more focused on a career and things other than her. And he says that it's not true. And she says, oh, so you're calling me a liar? Like, this was definitely one of the reasons why we broke up. And he seems to be like, well, I'm sorry you perceived it that way because that's not how it was. And she was like, well, you should have worded it better. And he was like, oh, so it's my fault then? She was like, yes, it is. So good. It was such a good conversation. Then literally immediately after this, Chris pulls Molly to the terrace and says they have business to discuss. It was such weird timing on that. Like right after such an emotional conversation where they're like literally in the middle of like what can only be described as budget couples therapy. Chris goes up, pulls her to the terrace, starts to pull a move on her, tells Molly about the thing where if you stare into each other's eyes without blinking for 60 seconds, you'll fall in love or whatever. And he says we should try it, which is corny. And I hate to say it. It would work on me. It would, vibes. It would work on me. Yeah, it just would. I don't know. It's the right kind of corny to me. If someone was like, do you want to try it? Do you see if we'll fall in love? I'd be like, should we? Should we? Like, it would work on me. It for sure would. And they kissed, which is like so bold. And also, why was he getting involved in this? Why would you go for someone who has the person that they lived with and had like a full-blown relationship with for the last 3 years in the villa? Like, it's just not gonna happen for you. But he kisses her, and then he tells Anton he had a full-on boner when he kissed her. And then after the kiss stuff comes out, Callum says to Molly point blank that he does want to get back with her. It doesn't seem like there's much proof of like change or like why they should reopen things, but it does seem like he wants to. Then another bombshell, Josh from season 1 enters and takes Loyal G, Hannah, and Georgia out on dates, which I guess Georgia and him have some kind of history. They used to loosely date, nothing serious. Georgia blocked Josh on Instagram because they had a falling out because I guess he was rude one night out and bumped her off the table that she was at. And then she said that she found it in her heart to forgive him because she's spiritual, which is actually so fucking funny. Okay, then later on in the day, Mitch says that he's all in on Demi and starts to lay it on thick. And she says, listen, my options are still open. Like, I'm interested in you. I'm interested in getting to know you, but like not ready to lock it down just yet. Then, like immediately after that, Lewis pulls Demi to the terrace and kisses her and says that he wants her and not Kaz, because Lewis was talking to both Demi and Kaz. And like immediately before that happened, Lewis was cuddling with Kaz on the daybed. Then when they walk back inside, Kaz is sitting in the makeup room and Demi walks in with like no lipstick on. She's going to reapply it. And then Lewis walks out immediately after and Kaz knows, like without needing to be told, Kaz knows that they just made out. And she was like, what the fuck? What is going on? No time to think about it because there is a recoupling. Josh gets to pick first and then the girls pick. Josh ends up picking Georgia. Loyal G picks Toby. Kaz picks Lewis. Liberty picks Mitch. Molly picks Callum. Hannah picks Anton as a friend. And then Demi ends up with Chris because there's nobody else. So I'm not too happy about the fact that Liberty and Kaz are being absolutely shat on so far this season for absolutely no reason. Mitch is having her as like a second option while he's pursuing Demi. They set her up with fucking Jake. I forgot his name. That's how little he means to me. And now Kaz is the second choice to Lewis, when Kaz and Liberty are like just class acts. They're such sweeties, and I really think they are the best in the villa. So it's kind of irritating that they're being treated the worst so far. So Mitch tells Liberty that Lewis and Demi kissed. And then after the recoupling, Liberty goes and sits with Kaz and Lewis. And Lewis is like, what did Mitch say? What is he shit stirring? And then Liberty's like, well, he told me that you kissed Demi on the terrace, like right before the recoupling. And he's not really shit stirring. He's just like telling what happened. That did happen. It's not really shit stirring. He's not making shit up. He's just like, you did do that. Then Lewis is mad and he starts going off on Mitch, being like, you're shit stirring. What's your problem? You know what you're doing. And like, listen, Mitch is messy. We know this about him. But also, like, you did do that. So you think you just like stick to your guns and be like, well, I'm not dating either one of these girls, so I can do whatever I want. Bitch. I don't know. I just feel like if you're gonna cuddle with 2 girls and then kiss one of them right before the recoupling, you need to like commit to that choice a little bit. You know what I mean? Then Mitch and Liberty end up kissing in bed, which I could have seen coming, even though just 2 days ago he was saying he liked Demi more than Liberty and had generally made up his mind. Here's the thing that you need to know about Mitch. Trust nothing that he says and understand that at the end of the day, he is always going to go for the option available to him, no matter if that's his first choice or not. So Chris is just now realizing that it was kind of dumb to think that he could pull Molly when she's been in a damn near 4-year relationship with Callum, which is funny. If only Toby had the same realization, because Toby then pulls Molly and is like, listen, I'd be interested, and yeah, I'm intrigued. And then he goes to tell Loyal G. Toby tells Loyal G that he had a chat with Molly and that he was intrigued, and she stands up and is like, good for you, and starts to walk away. And I was like, period, because that's what I would have done too. What do you want me to say? Like, okay. And she's like, what do you want me to say to that? Like, I'm glad you were just open with me, but like, what on earth do you want me to say to that? And he's like, so what? You want to be closed off with me then? Like, why are you upset? Do you want to be in a relationship with me? And she was like, oh, well, that's a little full on, isn't it? And I'm like, I feel like you guys are communicating, but you're also not communicating at all. I feel like you both like each other, but then you don't allow yourself to say it. Like, when they talk, they're arguing, and then neither one of them say that they like actually like each other and want the other person to just fully choose them. They're like, well, why haven't we just made it official on the outside? And they're both saying that, like, well, why haven't we? It's okay. Well, you're both saying the same thing. So you both want to. It just hasn't happened. It seems like maybe it's a pride thing and they're both too stubborn to be the person that like makes himself vulnerable in that way first, like at least in like a super vulnerable way. I don't know. But I get why she would be confused now and be like, well, why the fuck do you want to talk to someone else? What's going on? I thought that we had a thing. And then at the end of the week, we have our final bombshell of week 1 enter the villa, which is Arabella from season 5. And that's where it ends. That's where week 1, the first 5 episodes of Love Island All-Stars, comes to a close. It's going to be a wet, hot winter, baby. I'm so excited. I have a feeling this is going to be a good season. I hope we have more season 5 people coming. I also would kind of love a season 9. Also, I've heard rumors and rumblings that Jax from season 8 is going to be back, and that's a demon. That's a real life demon that they're going to let back into the villa, which is crazy if true. Crazy, huge, buck wild bonkers if true. So we'll see what happens. And with that, I'm going to wrap this the fuck up because I've been filming for so long and editing this is going to be a beast. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, for getting back into doing this little podcast thing together. I love you so much. I hope you have a great weekend, and I will see you next time.